While the war of words continued in federal parliament over the Oceanic Viking this week, a small but growing community in Perth has been watching the drama unfold through different eyes. For many in WA's Tamil community, the month-long impasse brought back painful memories of their own escape from persecution. And with many more Sri Lankan Tamils expected to be on the way, they've got their own ideas on how to stem the influx. Rebecca Boteler reports.
When you get on one of these boats, that means you have said to yourself, my life isn't worth it, I'll risk it.
All we know is our life is not safe.
You've seen the pictures, heard the stories.
I met one guy, he lost 2 children. One is 4 years old and 3 years old.
And listened to the pleas for help.
We can't live in Sri Lanka.
But for some West Australian residents, the plight of the asylum seekers has had special significance. For Ranjana Parameswaran, who herself fled Sri Lanka 20 years ago, it's brought back horrific memories.
So he was holding his hand up like this and went forward. And then all we heard was gunshot and he fell on the ground.
During ethnic riots in Sri Lanka in 1983, the army came to Miss Parameswaran's home and shot her husband in front of her and her 2 small children. Her father was also killed in the attack.
My thoughts were like, where is my father? And went into the other room, and all I saw was full of blood.
Left with nothing and her own life at risk, she applied for a humanitarian visa to come to Australia. But the process took more than 2 years. 2 years of living in fear.
I don't know what Australia is. I have learnt in geography and I have learnt in, people coming from Australia. But I thought, oh, I'm escaping from this hell.
But while Ms Parameswaran was one of the lucky ones, she says the long wait for visas under official channels is simply too long for many. And she says today, Tamils desperate to get out of Sri Lanka are exploited by people smugglers who promise them a better life.
The agents say that once you go to Australia, you can get a visa like that. They sort of brainwash them. And only after they come here, they know the difficulties.
She's one of about 1,000 Tamils who now call WA home and who try to help others fleeing the violence. Another is Raj Rajeswaran, who runs the Perth-based Australian Tamil Congress, which has been asked by immigration authorities to help new arrivals taken to Christmas Island.
They called us up and they said that a lot of the inmates in Christmas Island and other detention centres, they lacked books. They wanted something to read. They wanted to do something to listen to, and they wanted to be able to communicate with others. For that, they needed Tamil to English dictionaries.
He says those fleeing the country are putting their lives at risk, but in even greater danger are the estimated 300,000 Tamils who have been put in detention camps in Sri Lanka.
Young men go missing on a daily basis. They're taken out for questioning, but they never return. Children are separated from their parents. Women are raped. And this continues to happen. There's total impunity.
Of the more than 2,000 people who've tried to reach Australia by boat this year, many have been from Sri Lanka and the majority are Tamils. Although the 25-year-long civil war between the Tamil Tigers and the Sri Lankan army ended in May, the Congress says its people are now being persecuted by the government.
They are running away from there because, unless somebody protects their life, they are going to run.
I refer the Prime Minister to his new fast-track access policy for asylum seekers.
But while the government and the opposition continue to squabble over whether the asylum seekers aboard the Oceanic Viking have been given a special deal, the Congress believes the government should instead be focusing on the bigger picture and shifting its efforts to addressing the problems in Sri Lanka. It's launched a campaign to put pressure on the government to raise the issue at the upcoming Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. The Congress wants those in the camps released and civil rights for the Tamil people restored.
Unless the root of the problem or the cause is sorted out by the United Nations or the international community, there's no point in them staying there because they are not even classified as second-class citizens.
Meanwhile, only 25 Sri Lankan asylum seekers have been granted refugee status in Australia this year. At least double that number have been sent home. For the minority who do get a second chance at life, there's support to resettle in WA.
They will all work, so they will not become a burden on Australia and they will not be living off the taxpayers' money. That is something I can guarantee.